This episode of Like It or Not is sponsored by CH Peptides, a trusted source for high-quality research peptides like tirzepatide, BPC157, and IGF-1LR3. With fast shipping, consistent purity, and top-tier service, CH Peptides keep things simple and reliable. Want to learn more or book an appointment? Just call or text 707-380-6411. Tell them your boys from Like It or Not sent you, and you get 15% off your order. You can also order at chpeptides.com and enter Like It or Not at checkout for 15% off your order. So do not delay. Call today. That's CH Peptides. Products are for research use only, not intended for human or animal use. Complete Health Peptides makes no claims or promises regarding the effects of any product. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by DC Customs. Class of 2026. We have a special announcement for you from DC Customs. Special shout out to our hometown Wildcats at Ukiah High School. We love supporting our local students and community. This offer is for you guys. 10% off wheel and tire packages, 10% off suspension upgrades, and 10% off side steps and running boards with a free DC Customs hoodie with purchase. A perfect graduation gift or an upgrade before heading into summer. Now through June 30th, only at DC Customs. My name is Carter Lane.
I'm Drew Nickel.
Welcome to the show.
Whether you like it or not.
Oh my God. I think you have a problem, bro.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh my God.
So after 5 years and over 200 episodes, there's one thing I don't think we should ever change.
What's that?
That's our intro song.
No, I agree.
I love it so much.
I like it too, but I do want to take the swear word out of the beginning.
No.
Yeah. Can we just do like a bleep over the F word in the beginning?
No, that's what makes it so cool.
It does prepare you for what you're about to hear. Right? Like
Fact.
Yeah, if there are kids in the room, hopefully
turn it down.
You swear in front of them or prepare them.
Yeah, put it in your ear pods.
My grandma listens, which is interesting. Which is the other end of the spectrum of little kids. It's like,
you know what is really funny is that your grandma still listens.
Yeah, she loves me.
Like,
I know you think she'd like get. I don't want to say get the hint. Like, I want you to listen, Grandma. I love you, but your poor little ears. You know, your opinion of me probably has shifted.
Oh, tell Keely what the newest episode she heard was.
Well, we were talking. What were we? We were talking about how females can view their cervix by standing over a mirror.
Oh, okay.
And
I
went a flashlight.
In a flashlight, and this was news to us. And I went to visit my grandma because I do that, and she just looks at me and goes, "Cervixes, huh?" Dude, I turned so red, Keely. I was like, "Oh, you heard that, huh, Grandma?" She's like, "I hear everything."
I like your grandma.
Yeah, she's cool, dude. You know what I mean? You gotta love the throwbacks.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Like It or Not. Today with us, we have Keely Covello.
Yes, sir.
I said your name wrong last time.
That's okay.
Yeah. From America Unwon, you're a journalist and specifically covering issues in the Wild Wild West.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Get you.
So welcome back. We had you on Zoom the first time. Glad to see you in person.
I'm glad to be with you guys. We had some Zoom issues, I realized, after the episode, so I'm sorry about that. I had to come out here just to make up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and be here in person.
All
We're
is
glad
forgiven.
that you made the trip from Southern California just to be with us today.
Of course, absolutely.
How you been? How's things?
Yeah, things are good. I've had a kid since I last talked to you guys.
All
And that's
right.
rocked my world a little bit, but in a good way.
How was birth? How was that experience?
We can dive right into that. How much does your grandma want to know?
Yeah, all right, Grandma.
It was great. It wasn't too bad. Epidurals are excellent. Highly recommend. But
Yeah.
he's
All
here.
right,
That's all that
dude.
matters.
There
Yeah.
you go. God bless him.
Rad. Yeah, I remember you told me that you were pregnant, and I was like, what? All your videos are like from here up.
They were, neck up. You noticed that was strategic. the whole
Yeah,
time.
I bet. I was like, I can't even tell. You're like, exactly.
Exactly. Don't,
Pulled it off. You pulled it off.
Don't
So you
zoom
were
out.
on in September,
Yep. That's
and
right.
we
6
talked
months ago.
about a lot of stuff about the wolves, about the Potter Valley Scott's Dam coming out.
Yep. and a lot of other things, cattle ranchers, Point Reyes. But
Yeah.
we'll get into some of that stuff. And now we have grizzly bears.
That's right. Yeah. More predators in 6 months since
Lions
We're
and
gonna-
tigers and bears.
We're gonna
Yeah.
get there with these fucking numbnuts down in L.A. that think grizzly bears are like, a good thing to
Only a
release
good
into the
thing
wild.
here, not in LA.
Yeah.
Only here.
That's
the
right.
important thing you have to remember.
Yeah, up there.
Exactly.
Where there's
somewhere
just
else.
nothing.
Yeah, nobody.
And by the way, if you shoot them, it's against the law.
Yeah,
so you
prison
have to
for
let
you.
them come in your kitchen and make a
dude?
picnic basket.
This is crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Dude?
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
we'll get into that, but let's just jump into the dam and get that out of the way. Does that sound good?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
So 6 months ago, we were still. I mean, I don't know that has much changed since we last talked about it.
Well, I think we've gotten a lot more federal attention
Right.
since we last talked.
Secretary,
so
was it
that's cool.
Secretary Rollins?
Secretary Brooke Rollins, the Department of Agriculture, has paid a lot of attention to this, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm supposed to be at the White House right now, this very moment, actually, which was all because of her and, some of these issues I've covered. But I want to be with you guys. And
Well, I was gonna say, what,
Oh, thanks.
who did you piss off to end up here with us instead of being at the fucking White House? Because I don't know if you've read our reviews.
It just shows who's more important. Right?
That's right.
Well,
that's
God
right.
bless you. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Big fan.
Your time is valuable.
If you've read our reviews,
You have bad reviews.
we had a
I-
really good one
good
just
one,
a little
okay.
while ago.
It depends
yeah.
on who you ask.
I think it's excellent.
I have a hard time believing that. You guys have a great show. So.
Well,
5
thank you.
stars all around. Yeah. But yeah, so a lot more federal attention on that, which I heard you had an episode after kind of hearing the other side of the dam issue,
Yeah.
and they said there's no federal interest. That wasn't true then, and it's certainly not true now. I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah, we've had on several people that wanted to put up the other side, right? Since,
As you should.
Yeah, of course, right? Since we talked. And the overwhelming thing they all keep saying is like, the dam is just coming out and we don't have rights to the water once that happens. And if we don't agree to the Russian River project, then we're fucked 7 ways to Sunday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's their whole perspective. And they've tried everything. And we had Jane, right?
Janet Pauly
Janet.
Janet.
Sorry. My apologies, Janet.
and Steve
No, Sean White.
Sean White.
I remember that because of the snowboarder.
Yeah.
Right.
Both intelligent, cool people, and enjoyable to have on the podcast. And the thing that's interesting is like Janet was very much a proponent of keeping the dam for the longest time.
Yep.
And, now has kind of come to the realization after many, many, attempts, and she told her whole story, that there's just no saving the dam. So now what's next? And then of course after that, I've had Mo on because, Mo supported Mendocino not taking a stand against, as you know, against us keeping the dams, right?
Right.
And I texted her. I was like, I think that's a bad move, politically or whatever. And she's like, well, do you want dams or do you want water? That was kind of like what her response was. And then she turned me on to Janet and Sean. And I don't know. It's just an interesting perspective because I think there's so many major problems with the Russian River project that they don't really have answers for. Mm-hmm. And then of course there's the conspiracy theories, which I brought up to Mo at the end, which is like, oh, Janet Pauly owns land where they're going to create new water storage, and so now she's going to be like this water baron, and has something to gain, and it's all this big conspiracy. But it just seemed the whole thing is like it's another one of these things where you could talk and talk and talk and just not really come to any kind of solution.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've known Janet my whole life.
Yeah.
Her and her husband were my first landlords as a little kid. I lived in one of their rental places. They're a good family. I wouldn't say anything personal about any of these people, and I don't think that's very interesting to kind of personally attack people on different
Right.
sides of this issue.
Agreed.
There's a question about water, and I don't agree that there's no hope. And I think that opportunity opened when the Trump administration came in, which it doesn't really matter how you vote. And I think it's very unfortunate that there's this like political appearance to this issue because it's about water
Right.
and a very basic resource that we need. So it really should not be political. But for whatever reason, maybe you can be cynical and say Trump doesn't like Newsom and maybe he wants to stick it to Newsom. okay, great. Whatever the incentives are, we need help. Nobody was coming to help us. So let's use that opportunity to try to save our water.
Well, I'm going to really stick it to Newsom by saving Potter Valley's water
Isn't
supply.
that weird? Yeah, it's
What a
very weird that we would have to even think. Yeah, and I mean, I've been called a MAGA influencer a few times now by some of these different groups. Jared Huffman last year, and then just earlier this month, Friends of the Eel put out this kind of retroactive look at the dam situation and called me a MAGA influencer, which I am not. I'm not a MAGA influencer. I'm not an influencer, and I don't have any affiliation with any political party. But I do think Newsom has his fingerprints on this issue, in my opinion, and I think that it's terrible for our community. So anything I can do, and anyone who I can go to get help for that, I'm going to do that, and I'm not going to let politics get in the way, because that would not be a service to my neighbors and my family. So that's where I'm coming from on this issue.
What you view as right is right. You know what I mean? Regardless of the political implications of it. You know, and that is unfortunate, because it just, even common sense, if it's on the side of, you know, whatever the opposite political party you agree with, and you're not going to agree with common sense. Yeah. You know what I mean? It just, and that's
kind of the world we're living in, though. Today.
I mean, yeah, it's prolific with all the fraud that's being exposed. You know what I mean? Oh, well, just because, you know, it's Democrats that are the ones getting and giving the money that's fraudulently being taken, then even though we are being stolen and ripped off, we're just going to support it anyways because it's our team.
Right, exactly. That's why we're in this problem in California, especially. We've got one party rule. And it happens in any state, I think, where there's too much power on one party. I've covered stories in South Dakota. There's a lot of Republicans in South Dakota, and it's kind of led to a lot of corruption, because when you have too much power that's unchecked, that's where you get corruption. So in our state, it's Democrat top to bottom, and that has not served rural California well at all, especially with this dam issue that I think, you know, it's existential for us. And I think what's really going on here, to kind of take a step back, we've had this amazing system with the Potter Valley Project where we've had free water. The, you know, PG&E turns it into energy, and then that water goes downstream, and we get to benefit from it. 750,000 people, something like that, have benefited from this water for over 100 years. It's created its own ecosystem. It's beneficial for us. And for whatever reason, the powers that be have decided that nobody should get free water, because what's really going on here when you look at it, and Janet frankly broke news, I think, on your podcast, because she said, if I'm not mistaken, that IRPA would have water rights after this goes through. So that means that they're taking a system that has worked for us for 100 years, that has benefited our community, that is not the most wealthy community in California, to be frank, and now they're going to take that free water that's flowing downstream, and they're going to take out the system that supplies it, and they're going to create a situation where water users have to pay IRPA. So they're taking away our water rights. They're just doing this big swindle right in front of our faces, where we have to pay probably $1 billion to take this dam out. That's going to be us paying for that. That's ratepayers paying for that. I have the email from Jared Huffman's office saying that. We're going to pay to take our infrastructure out.
Your PG&E bill will go up in order to do that.
Even more.
Yes, even more than it already has. And then we're going to pay for water that we've never had to pay for. And who are we paying? We're paying Round Valley Indian Tribe and these different entities that form IRPA. So that is something that the community needs to be aware of. That's what's going on. We're getting swindled out of our water, and these water rights are going to powerful entities, and you're going to have to pay for your water now. Why would we let that happen without a fight? Why would we not speak up about that?
Right. And Shaun White said as much on this podcast.
He did.
He straight up said, well, we've benefited from cheap and free water for so long, and now we're going to have to pay for it.
And why is that? And who are we paying? And why do they deserve money for water? You know, like, these are very fair questions. There's other tribes. It's not just Round Valley. There's other tribes. I heard you talking to Mo about this in your episode with her.
Yeah.
Why does Round Valley have water rights? You asked all the right questions, because they're not on the main stem. There's other tribes. There's other communities impacted. Why is Round Valley the owner of all these water rights? I don't agree with that argument. I've read the argument from, I think it was Scott Shapiro, one of these attorneys. I don't agree with that. All the water in the Eel River goes to Round Valley Indian tribes. Since when? I think we can at least have that argument. I don't think we all have to just lay down and let the truck run over us here. So that's the situation. That's kind of what's going on.
Yeah, and her opinion was just, when I asked her the question, she said, just because that's how it is, right? Because that's what the rights are, and the senior water rights go all the way back to them being here first. And it's like, okay, you know, I get that. I've certainly been dealt firsthand with having senior water rights that were taken by Fish and Game, owning property that had water rights, secured from the 60s, right? Appropriative rights to pull so much water, but yet, anyways, we don't have to get into all of that, but I agree with you. I think it's like, it just seems like they're kind of laying over and being like, okay, well, the dam situation is hopeless.
We're going to go with plan B, which has a lot of holes in it.
Right.
So what exactly can the Trump administration do? Like, you know what I mean? So, okay, we have the attention of Secretary Rollins. What's the Department of the Ministry of the Interior?
She is at USDA, Department of Agriculture.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And they oversee the Forest Service. The Forest Service has land out there. But yeah, I mean, it's not a federal project. So
Right.
it's not an easy issue. And I'm not saying that it's a silver bullet or that we're going to win. I can't say that, but I think we've made a lot of progress in the time since I last talked with you guys. I think calling attention to it is important because there's still people in Mendocino County and Sonoma County and Lake County and Marin who don't know what's going on. So we do need to raise awareness because we need people screaming their heads off about this if we do want to get any assistance.
I mean, and the real only solution is somebody has to buy and take over the dam from PG&E.
Yeah, and I there are people that are interested in buying the dam, and I told you, Carter, that I had some stuff I wanted to share, and I can't share all the details, but there are groups interested in the dam. There's even some federal interest that's out there, which raises the question: did PG&E really try to sell this dam before they announced that they were going to take it out? Did that really happen? Because it's hard to believe in California that there would be no interest in a power project and in water rights, that there would be no group interested in taking that over. I think that's hard to believe. Water is pretty precious. Power is pretty precious. Look at all these, centers going in, data centers going in that are all over the country right now. Why would somebody not be interested in a functional hydropower project, which
Yeah.
I think it is totally functional, by the way.
So who would can you elaborate on the information you have? You want to?
I can't say names, but I just have heard very reliable sources. There's at least one group interested that PG&E has heard from. So they may or may not admit to that, but I know there are groups interested, and I know there's federal interest.
So because Janet Pauley said, well, we tried and we looked at 1,000 different ways to buy it and make it happen, and it's just unfeasible because of the fish dam and seismic retrofitting and blah blah, on and on, right?
Yeah, and Janet's a very smart person, and she fought for this dam long before people were talking about it. So I do have respect for that. She's part of the reason why I'm aware of this. She kind of told me about it back in the day. I helped IWPC make a website back in the day, and I would sit in on their meetings, and I was kind of watching this coming down the pike, like, they're going to take our dam out. This is what's happening, and nobody's talking about it at all. And I've moved away. I live in Orange County now, but I would call home all the time. It just really it felt like this train coming at us, and nobody was talking about it. And I would read the articles that people are putting out, and it was just like, next step, next step, next step. PG&E's, surrendering the project. The FERC process is at this stage, and it's like, nobody's stopping this. Nobody's doing anything about it. So I understand if Janet felt like I'd worked on this for years and years, and maybe she believes in the system. Maybe she has more faith in PG&E. Like I told you, maybe I'm just a cynic. I don't have any faith in PG&E or in our government at all.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what PG&E's history is.
Right.
Right.
And people say it's a private business decision. They can do what they want. That's not accurate. They're not just a private business decision. If you have to get permission from the government to raise your rates, you're not just a private business. They're a state-regulated utility monopoly. We don't have the option to get energy from an alternative competitor. That's why they have to be regulated by the California Public Utilities Commission, which is completely appointed by Gavin Newsom. Everybody that sits on that board is appointed by Gavin Newsom. So it just makes sense that their incentive is to keep politicians happy, which is why they're one of the biggest political donors in the state. They give money to almost every single politician in the state. They're one of Gavin Newsom's biggest donors. They're one of his wife's biggest donors, okay? So that raises a lot of questions. They're totally fair to ask, and we should be asking those questions. What happened? Why was PG&E not sure what they wanted to do with this dam? And then the campfire happened in Paradise, and they pled guilty to 84 counts of manslaughter. And I've talked to people who still haven't been paid. And they pay their executives huge bonuses, and those political donations keep rolling like water out of PG&E. But the victims in Paradise, some of them allegedly still have not been paid for what they suffered and for their losses. So you look at that, the company filed bankruptcy, and then all of a sudden, this bailout bill comes out from the Newsom administration that wipes clean a lot of their liability. And around that same time, suddenly they've made the decision about the dams that Newsom seems to have wanted, which is the dams are coming out, and there's nothing we can do about it. So maybe people tried to get the dams. I'm sure IWPC tried. I'm sure they had meetings. I'm sure they had talks, but there's other interests at play at PG&E. There just are. And look at their history. Yeah. This is the Aaron Brockovich company, you know? This is the company that has started multiple fires here in our community that killed people. I'm not saying PG&E is all bad. My grandpa worked for PG&E his whole life. I don't want to believe that a company that serves our community is evil. But let's just look at incentives. They need the Newsom administration happy with them so they can keep raising those rates and raking in profits, which they do. They had record profits again last year. Is this, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, and getting them out from under the liability that they're creating.
Exactly. So those are incentives, and I just think the pragmatic way to look at it is they've got incentives, and so do we. We have to protect our water and our way of life that has been going on for over 100 years. We don't just have to take what PG&E tells us and believe it. These seismic reports, I'd really like to see them. I really would like to understand exactly what the seismic issue is, because nobody's seen the reports. And maybe they're redacted for security reasons, and we've been pursuing all the paperwork we possibly can to see what's really going on with these dams. But I just have questions about them. There was a report that just came out of some of the most dangerous dams in California just recently, and Scott Dam was not on that list. So why are we so worried about Scott Dam's seismic issues? There's lots of other dams that are over 100 years old that are near fault lines. Are all of those dams a problem? Why is it just the one that serves our rural community that is such a problem? I think we just need to ask all of these questions. And, you know, people who say we just have to take what PG&E gives us and there's no hope, we haven't even tried. And they're a company that doesn't like bad PR just like any other company. So why don't we start talking about the fact that there are farmers and ranchers and rural communities and tribes that will lose their water. Wells ran dry last year. I know people whose wells ran dry. That's illegal. It's, you know, illegal. It breaks federal law to steal drinking water like that. I know elderly couples who were trucking in water to their houses every day because the faucet wasn't turning on. That's what's going to happen en masse when these dams are gone. So we need to talk about that and point to PG&E and point to the Newsom administration and leverage our voice, not to sound corny here, but truly leverage our story and our what will happen to this community. Because if we don't do that, we really can't say we've tried. And I don't understand why we would go down without a fight and why we're kissing ass of a felon corporation. Truly, this is a felon corporation that does not have our best interests at heart and that is incentivized to keep politicians happy. And I don't really know what our politicians are doing. I don't know what Jared Huffman's doing, but it doesn't seem like they're representing our interests.
So what do you think is the interest of the politician? Like, what's so valuable to Gavin Newsom about pulling out dams? Are they just trying to make the people that politically don't support them destitute and weak? Or
I think it's a power play for him to say he's the cleanest, greenest governor and that he supports the fish and all the stuff that looks good on paper when he tries to run for president.
Yeah. Well, he said that. There's a 2024 Associated Press article people can look up where he takes credit specifically for Scott Dam removal. He says it's part of his salmon restoration strategy to remove Scott Dam, and he pledges that it will happen by X date, which again, kind of weird if you're alleging that this is just a private business decision of PG&E. If he's kind of taking credit for it or at least promoting it, seems like a conflict of interest there. But yeah, I think Gavin Newsom wants to run for president. I think that's pretty obvious. And I think he wants to have a record as being a very environmentally friendly president because the green lobby is powerful in California. And he has had some criticism that he's too farmer friendly, believe it or not. So this might be one of his concessions to those, fish groups, to these environmental groups that look what I did. I restored the Eel River. It's now the longest free flowing river, yada, yada. I saved the salmon. It doesn't save the salmon. It's not going to save the salmon, but he can just posture that it does. and then he gets to run on those credits while we suffer. I really do think this serves his political ambition. Can I prove that? No, I mean, he's said that, right? So I think it's pretty obvious that that's his incentive for these dam removals. Can I prove that he colluded with PG&E? If any whistleblowers want to talk to me, I'd love to hear from them. But no, I can't prove that. There was a closed-door meeting between the Paradise Fire and the announcement about dam removals that involved the people who wrote the bailout bill, that involved people that were later appointed to CPUC, that involved PG&E. No notes were taken. It was an illegal meeting. We don't know what happened in that meeting. I have heard rumors that Potter Valley Project was on the docket for that meeting. I cannot prove that. But let's just look at incentives, and let's look at the pattern of what happened. And at the very least, I think we should fight this and ask some questions before we just let this happen to our town. It will profoundly change this area. It will change this area.
And do you think that the NERF project, is that the Plan B? Is that what the name of it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that doesn't, to me, seem like a sound plan to move forward.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense.
Like,
No.
how is that going to work?
No, none of it makes sense. The two-basin solution does not make sense. It leaves out Potter Valley and it leaves out Lake County, which Lake County is awesome. They've done such a good job. Their social media, if people want more facts about this, they should follow Lake County social media. The supervisors there have been very outspoken.
So they're fighting it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. E.J. Crandall, Bruno Sabatier, they were both with me in Anaheim to meet Brooke Rollins just a few months ago. And by the way, I have no idea how they vote. They're not a political office, and I don't know how they vote, and they don't know how I vote. They are just looking out for Lake County. So this is not a partisan issue. And Mike Thompson, their representative, is a Democrat, and he has he's written letters critical of dam removal. So I think he's opposed, and I think it'd be great if he spoke more about that. But this really is a bipartisan issue. This is not a MAGA issue, and their attempts to smear me that way, using the same terminology, I think it's transparent, and I think it's really gross, honestly, because what I've done for a long time, I was anonymous. I didn't even share my name or anything about me. I just wanted to report on rural issues that weren't getting attention. So I'm not an influencer. I'm not looking to do this for myself. This is really, really important. As you guys know, you've covered it so well and done such a great job. And there's limited media out here, and for whatever reason, the limited media we do have is not paying attention to this.
Mm-hmm. It's true. People are just starting to wake up to the situation of like what's actually going on. So they're slating to remove the dam in 2028. Is that right?
I think that's their estimate. Yeah.
And Gavin Newsom's out in 2028, correct? So if we can outlast Newsom, maybe we have a chance. Maybe that's a play right there, right? Seriously, if you
Let's go, Bianco.
if you can get that Chad in there,
Yeah.
maybe there's some hope there.
He'll ride up here on his horse, dude,
Yeah.
with his revolver on his side and his sheriff badge on his freaking thing. I hope he keeps the sheriff badge even if he becomes governor. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, totally.
I don't think he can, but
In the cowboy hat, that'd be great. That'd be a refreshing change for sure.
Yeah. So what can we do locally here? For people listening to this right now, they're like, all right, what can they do to create awareness? Is that the main thing? Or?
I think so. I think it's still creating awareness, which, there's a lot of people who don't know about this. There's a couple groups, Save the Potter Valley Project in Potter Valley, Lake Pillsbury Alliance, Mendo Matters, a few groups like that are doing good work. Sonoma County Farm Bureau is jumping in kind of the awareness campaign. So get plugged into one of those groups, put up a sign, tell your neighbors, just really try to get the word out. Call your supervisors if you live in Mendocino County.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my supervisor is already on board, so I got no one to convince, but, we're working on it. I had Mo on, and she did bring up a good point. She's not running for re-election. So, but what she says is like, one of the biggest errors and issues with local politics is how little the people in the community know about what's going on and how much impact they can have through voting. And one of which she highlighted, and we kind of talked about in the conversation, which I thought was really valuable, is like, people can argue about whether your vote matters or not in a federal presidential election or maybe even statewide with the way the maps are drawn, but where it really has an impact is locally.
Yeah.
I mean, she said she won being the mayor by 34 votes
Wow.
and won her seat by less than 200. So where we can make an impact is one, like really understanding who you're voting for and what they support, right? And what their policies are on the Potter Valley Dam, for example, and getting people in there that actually do have an agenda that is, Mendo first, or, rural people first, or how do we make this community thriving again economically? Because we kind of just check boxes and don't know anything about these people. I feel like people vote locally based on how many signs they see in people's yards as they drive around. So paying attention to that, and maybe even us like creating a forum of like, as these elections, getting people on here to say what, their platform is and asking them these questions would be important, because I think we just need to be smart about who we're putting in office to make decisions, and that would go a long way to change things.
Absolutely.
And what you just talked about was the issue of like letting people know.
Right.
And it's hard to let a rural community know specifically what is going on or how what their views are on certain subjects and things like that, So that was kind of Mo's thing too, is like, okay, how do we get this information out? A lot of the times we have it and the public doesn't know about it, and we're trying like on Facebook and on here and on there, but like, how do we educate everybody to what's really going on so that they can make an educated decision?
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of my frustration with that interview, was like, well, isn't that your job?
Right.
Like, when they don't want you to smoke in a building, they're pretty good at getting the message out that you're not supposed to smoke, right? There's a fucking sign on every door and so it's not that hard to get the message out. I don't think. I think it's easier to move and operate without alerting the hive.
Yeah.
Right. They don't want to get the bees on them. And I understand. Have you ever been in the Board of Soups, chambers where they're talking about cannabis or any other, Costco coming to town? Oh, good Lord.
Watch who comes out and speaks, huh?
Right. I mean, they're just, and then they all get, I think, scared and paralyzed. But
the perfect example of that, again, I hate to keep bringing it up, is the annexation, the city of Ukiah annexation. And as soon as they promoted it, it was like, they got all this feedback, and then all of a sudden that slows the whole government process down. And we talked about this in the last couple episodes too, about just how slow things move, and like it's killing our town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think part of the problem with the annexation was that the experience people have in dealing with the city of Ukiah has not been a good one. Mm-hmm. And so they now want to come and say, we're going to be a good partner and everything's going to be hunky-dory and easy and you won't notice and it'll improve. But if you operate in the city and you're trying to open a business or do just drive through our downtown. Yeah. And they can point to Newsom and, state regulations for, handicap accessibility and all of that. But like, they also go through and just post notices on everybody's door, and say, okay, new assessment, we're low on funds. So now everybody with a vacant property got to pay up, even though it's vacant because we can't get you in there. So, you know what I mean? It's like,
and round and round and round
and here we go. But I do think just, bringing some awareness to this situation. And it's like, how will we stop it? Well, we can at least just get in the way, right? Slow down the wheels and not just let them just steamroll us. So maybe that's a good enough spot to start.
Absolutely.
I mean, I really liked our last idea about chaining ourselves to the dam.
I did too. Yeah.
I think that's a really cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it, but you guys better bring me some sandwiches every once in a while, dude. All right? I got to eat at least one.
I'll hold down the podcast while you're out there.
Let's check in with Drew. Flies on my lips and shit.
I could really use a peanut butter and jelly now.
I think I'm going to eat a salmon.
Well, I told you I was waiting for my T-shirt to come in the mail, and that never arrived.
All
so
right.
when you start your T-shirt campaign,
Your disappointment
that will
has now
help.
motivated me to make T-shirts.
I'm very
yeah.
disappointed.
I'm sorry that I let you down, and it won't happen again.
I mean,
okay?
I left that podcast. I thought it was the start of a beautiful friendship. We're going to make all these T-shirts and nothing. Never heard any more about these T-shirt ideas we brainstormed.
All right.
We told our
It's all
producer to get on it, and
You're blaming Joseph?
He's from Atlanta, dude. Okay, he's just like whatever.
That was low. They shouldn't have done that. Yeah.
thanks for holding us accountable. We'll get on the
Yeah,
T-shirt thing.
Yeah. I
Keep
think that would be great.
keep Potter Valley moist is the one that I'm going to go with.
Yeah,
My least
American
favorite?
Unwon at the bottom.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah, we'll partner with you.
All right, partner. Put her there, partner.
I'm an influencer, so after all.
Yeah.
It's okay. We've been called MAGA
Have you really?
influencers too. Oh yeah. People
Man.
don't like it when we talk about the president.
Oh no, people go nuts.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's-
feel like you're very fair. I heard your debate with your friend where you guys had different
Yeah.
opinions. Just
Yeah, I think it's reasonable.
looking for solutions. You're just being pragmatic.
Yeah,
I don't know
and
why that's such a
100%.
bad thing. You work with whoever will help your little rural, unheard of community, right? I don't understand why
Exactly right.
you got to
Or
go down with the ship.
if you're a person of principles, like where do you see? You
Yeah.
know, I mean, I got 2 boxes to check.
Yeah,
So it's not,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's not like there's a plethora of choices here.
exactly.
You know, it's not a Crayola crayon box. It's like red or blue.
Right.
Well, that's just the thing.
And I'm not either.
right. That's the thing that's wrong in today's world is that like if you don't agree with one side, you are automatically another side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's just like by default, and you're like, wait, hold on.
Right.
You can't
Yeah.
put this in a box.
Yeah, and I've always said like I'm not for either. I am like libertarian small government.
Yeah.
Like I just think government is the problem. Whether it's Democrat or Republican, anybody in control of everything. And like I was talking about this on the last podcast, so I don't need to repeat it, but it's like advocating the responsibility of taking care of the people in society who can't take care of themselves to the government seems noble. So we give them our money to take care of people who aren't taking care of themselves. The problem is the government doesn't take that money and then actually accomplish the job.
No, they don't at all.
Instead, they line their pockets and their wife's pockets and their friends' pockets with it through this circular, money laundering scheme. And then when they want more money, they charge us more and levy our bank accounts.
Right,
It's
exactly.
theft.
And then
It's
they-
slavery.
Exactly. And then they tell you you're a bad person because you don't want to keep participating in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And you hate the homeless and the poor.
and then
Right.
want to send me 3 videos
a
about
MAGA.
what Trump said 3 years ago. You know what I mean? And it's like,
right.
dude, nobody said Trump's Christ reincarnated here.
It's certainly
Obviously, a
not.
flawed individual, and all of us have problems.
Right.
You know, what you're voting for is hopefully we make America a priority,
Mm-hmm.
and we stop, spending money that we don't have on shit we can't afford.
Yeah.
You
I wish
including a war in Iran, but we don't need to talk about that.
I wish we could be a little more pragmatic in general, like
Right.
most people. Just what is working and what is not working, and stop
tribe.
moralizing these things. Your job is to take care of your neighbor. I think when you just
Totally.
give money to the government and you say, now you fix it, and you call yourself a virtuous person, it's more virtuous to, maybe you don't want small government, maybe you don't want more taxes, but you do see your responsibility as taking care of your neighbor yourself and not just outsourcing it to the government. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's how I grew up in Potter Valley. Like my dad, who's getting, he was also mentioned in this Friends of the Eel article. My poor dad, because he's like saw what I'm trying to do, and he's like, all right, well let me help on the ground here in Potter Valley. So he's started the Save the Potter Valley Project group and all of this, and he's just someone he's the coach of every team. He never would tell you what he's doing, but he's the elder in the little Bible church. On the weekends, he'd be like, "I'm gonna go chop wood for this little old lady who's a widow and needs help," and that's what he's spending his free time doing. And to me, that's a good citizen. However you vote, what are you doing yourself to help your neighbor? You know what I mean? It's your responsibility, and I think
Right.
that's how you guys see it. That's how a lot of small towns view it. So I hate this pressure that you got to vote this certain way to be viewed as compassionate. Maybe I don't like the corruption in your government. Maybe I don't want to keep contributing to it until you fix it. But that doesn't have anything to do with how I'm living my life and taking care of my responsibilities and the people around me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's so obvious to see with
Oh, right.
anybody who has eyes to look. It's like, dude, where's those? high-speed rail. Well, the money spent, right? How come we have more homeless now in here than anywhere when the money spent?
Yeah.
How come the governor is vetoing the auditing of where that money was spent? It's so obvious, and it doesn't matter. Right. And then they just take more and more. Like you said, I was like, how about you just don't charge me taxes anymore? I don't want to pay any state income tax, and I will adopt 5 homeless people.
There you go.
And take care of them.
There you go.
That doesn't mean they're going to live in my house, right? Or anything like that. Like, but like.
Yeah, it does.
No. But.
No. This place is really nice. You got some grass right there by the river. Like, this is a good place.
There are other places that I have.
No, I think that I'd like
you know
to
how
be
you
here.
see people who are like, want illegal immigrants to come in, and then someone knocks on their door and is like, hey, I got Juan, Jose, and Barry out here, and they need a place to live. Can they come in? And they're like, oh, God! No!
We could just have the homeless guy on the couch.
So I don't want someone knocking on my door and being like, here's 3 homeless people. You said you're going to adopt them. And they want to come in and make some bacon and eggs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Remember that Martha's Vineyard thing when they were
Yeah.
we had a very enriching experience with these migrants for 2 days, and we put them on a bus and sent them out. That was so telling. Like, that is how these people think. It's like, it's somebody else's problem. Just like in California, it's somebody else's problem. Somebody else needs to remove their dam and have no water to restore the salmon fisheries, but not Hetch Hetchy, not the water you're diverting from the Owens River Valley to LA. That's different. Just your little tiny, small, poor town. That's the one that we've really got to destroy for our ideology.
Yeah,
it's always
it feels
our
like they're
problem.
picking on us.
It does. Yeah, It does. It feels like we're disposable.
Yeah.
And not only that, like taking our voice away with all of this redistricting and all of this stuff going on. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, we went from having 9 Republican representatives, and now we're going to have 4.
Right.
And who votes red most of the time? Those red people want water. Take out their dam.
Yeah.
Let's bring them to their
Exactly.
knees. You like beef?
Fuck that.
Oh no. You will eat cricket meal and like it. There's protein in sticks and berries.
You can have the salmon that are going to come back.
Oh no, that's Round Valley Indian salmon. We don't get none of that salmon. All right, they get the salmon. They're going to be very hydrated and have lots of omega-3s, and the rest of us are going to be a little dusty.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, you're right.
What's it
You're
like
right.
living down there in LA?
Well, I live in Orange County, so it's a little bit different, but
Yeah.
it's all right. It's warm. I'm freezing right now. I'm like, if you see me shaking on this video, I'm getting soft living in Orange County.
Yeah, we got to point the heater at you a little bit better.
No, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty, it's nice, but I miss home. I do get homesick. It's my husband's fault. He's got his job down there, so that's where we're at for now. But I was telling you, there was a shark circling our favorite surf spot yesterday. So maybe we'll be up here soon. I feel like surfing is the main thing.
Does your husband
Getting him
surf
down
too?
there. Yeah. He's much better than me. I'm like,
A shark circling your favorite surf spot in Mendo or in
well, that
Orange
too.
County?
Both
Yeah,
of
up
them.
here.
There was one up in Big River. I saw an attack this week. There's never been an attack there. The sharks are going crazy.
Yeah, well, there's never been anybody who didn't get swallowed and eaten to tell the story.
That's true.
This one just lived. The rest of them we don't even know, dude. They're getting burped up in Orange County. Man. Those great whites can make it far fast.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I like how they're like, well, there's a shark in Orange County, so I think we're going to have to move.
I'm just hoping.
That's the
I'm
worst
just trying
part
to
of it,
talk
huh?
Yeah,
negative.
whatever
Yeah.
angle you can find. Huh?
Exactly. Looking for
You're all, hey, did you see this shark? There's a
Nobody
shark out
feels
there.
bad for me living in Huntington Beach. I mean, it's beautiful. It's like, why
That's
do you
true.
miss Mendocino County? It's, but it's special. This is home. To me, this is always going to be home.
We're going to take a quick break to support the people who support the show. Ladies and gentlemen, the Thirsty Axe is not only a place for you to enjoy some good aggressive axe throwing and some skillful pool playing, it's also a place where they have live karaoke every Thursday night. They have trivia every Wednesday night, and they have live music with DJs and bands on the weekends. April 11th, they're welcoming Anthony B to Ukiah. On the 17th of April, they're welcoming Fleetwood Mac, the Fleetwood Mac tribute band. They have lots going on their calendar of events. Go check it out at thirstyaxe.com. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Thompson Construction. Thompson Construction is an excavating and grading general engineering contractor based right here in Ukiah, California. They specialize in septic system installation and repairs, land and site development for residential, commercial, agricultural, anything you got going on. These guys can handle it. No job too big or too small. At Thompson Construction, they love what they do and they take the utmost pride in their work. Customer satisfaction and great attention to detail is a major goal of these guys. So give them a call today, 707-391-7679 for your free quote. That's 707-391-7679. And now back to the show.
Yeah, no, I get that 1,000%. You know, come back here over and over again, and then I think I'm out of here, but I just can't quite. Can't
so
quite
tempting.
do it.
Yeah,
You know?
I know. You're not leaving anytime soon, are you guys? You're sticking around.
I'm here for at least a few more years.
Okay, good.
Until
Few
it's,
more years.
until it's completely communist, and then. But
Until it's a Marxist hellhole with no water, and then
Right.
you're gonna.
I don't know.
I think that's
it's
fair.
like the writing's on the wall to me.
I do feel
I mean,
like
I don't know. We'll see about this election and maybe if things change, but it's just becoming less and less desirable to live here. But then, like, I don't know. I mean, you drive around and it's like one of the most beautiful places on earth.
It is. It really.
I've been to
is. It's very
freaking
unique.
Tuscany, Italy. It looks exactly like this.
Right,
You know, we go to
exactly.
freaking got the ocean and the mountains and everything's within 2 hours and it's absolutely amazing. And also, like, I'm a 42-year-old dude who's never lived in another state. So, like,
This is home. Yeah.
it's home, but and also, like, what else is out there? Like, I'm ready to go, like, explore. You
Right.
know what I mean? Live
Oh, I
somewhere
see
else
what you
just
mean.
for the experience of, like, moving and living in a different state.
Yeah. Fair
And
enough.
Tennessee's calling my name.
Tennessee. My brother just moved to Tennessee. from
How's he like
Ukiah.
it?
He loves it. He's very happy.
see?
So
I'm afraid Tennessee's like too much like California now because that's where all the Californians are going. Dude.
people always say that, but I think it's like the Californians that don't vote blue that leave. So we're just getting like more and more entrenched here, and all of the opposing voices are just making
I mean,
the
that's-
states redder, I guess.
That's part of the problem, right? Is like
Yeah.
all of the people that seem to feel similar to the way that we do are leaving, and so you just are more and more surrounded by like,
Yeah, the
people with
wackos.
septum piercings.
To shorthand it, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's one trend that I'm so glad is fading out, dude. I love that.
I mean, you're right though, because Prop 50, I could not believe people were supporting this. It's like
dude, I
this is the party that told us that we're anti-democracy. That is so anti-democratic. That is so anti-representative government. You're literally just drowning out the poor rural people by these like giant blue metropolis districts.
And the whole reason that they're doing it is because Trump did it in Texas. Like, where does that make sense? It's still wrong.
Right. Well, and the court ruled against Biden. That's what happened in Texas. They had to redistrict, and then Trump just pushed them to actually do it. But it wasn't like this. Anyway,
It's completely different.
It's completely different.
No, but we had Kelly on the podcast, and he's sitting here telling you about how wrong it was that Trump did it, but how we had to do it, even though it's cutting the voice of his own people's throat.
Right. I don't understand this like cut your nose off to spite your face thing. Like, what is
It's
good
to
for
spite
our
her face.
community?
It is
to spite her face.
It's
Right, right,
100%. The Trump derangement syndrome situation.
Yeah.
That is, people are just so triggered by that man that they cannot see anything other than, for lack of a better term, red.
But Drew, like, he's been in the public eye for like 10 years in this capacity as president. Aren't people tired yet? Like, how boring. It's kind of a self-own to let this guy run your brain that much. Like, if you hate him so much, he's going to be gone soon. He's not running for a third term. Like, just what's good
that's
for
not
your
what they
town?
think.
I know.
Kelly sent me something today
2028.
about Trump telling Christians, you will never have to vote again now that I'm here.
Well, I don't know about that.
Right.
But yeah, he's just trolling you. You can't keep falling for it every time. He's just a big troll. Like, at this point, I don't know. That just seems to me Like, if you hate him so much, maybe stop paying attention to every little thing he does and losing your mind. Just, this must be boring. It's been a long time now.
I agree with you. And I go ahead.
I think it's like comparing it to like if you get on an airplane and you don't like the pilot, I'm still gonna root for the pilot to fucking fly the plane okay and land the motherfucker.
100%.
You know what I mean? And people are just like, no, kill him.
Right.
It's like, dude,
100%.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't get it.
It is unfortunate though that Trump just he's just a troll.
He is a troll.
And he just pisses people off left and right. And it's like, as a world leader, a little bit of uniting spirit would be helpful. Like, I just heard him this morning. He was like doing a news conference about Iran and like basically saying, if Iran doesn't open the Hormuz, then we're gonna, really knock them dead. And then this reporter comes up and is like, so what do you think about Japan not being happy about the fact that you invaded Iran and didn't tell them, because that cut off a lot of their oil, and now they're like, and Trump looks into the camera and goes, well, they didn't tell us about Pearl Harbor. And fucking laughs and moves on. But it's like,
my God,
yeah,
dude.
That's funny, sort of. But then like that gets transferred or translated into Japanese. And they are like, fuck you guys.
Okay, but
Let's go get some Russian oil.
They didn't tell us about Pearl Harbor, so it's kind of a fair point. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. But it's like, you're
No,
right
I know
about
what you
that.
mean. I know you
But
mean.
it's
He
like-
could shut up and like, what did he say this weekend? Said he was celebrating Robert Mueller's death or something.
Oh,
Just
dude,
like,
that was so in
why?
poor taste.
Why do you say that?
He's like, he's
just
dead.
not.
Good. Fuck that guy.
Right.
The world's better off. And it's just like, didn't have to say that.
Didn't
bro.
have
We
to.
know you. We know you feel that way.
We are sure that if he said nothing,
You just
we
said the
would-
quiet part out loud.
Right, right.
Yeah, maybe he's a little autistic.
Maybe. I mean, he is entertaining. I feel like these Gen Z kids that have only grown up with him are not going to believe how boring politics normally
Right?
is. Like, it's not supposed to be
Right.
this entertaining. It really shouldn't be this interesting. Like,
Right.
I don't really want it to ever be this interesting again.
yeah. Oh, can we go back to not caring about it, please?
Right, right.
Can we get Mitt Romney as a candidate again so we can all be bored to tears?
What a suit that guy is. I
Right.
can't believe, like, from Mitt Romney to Donald Trump, we have undergone
crazy,
several
dude.
political lifetimes.
Yeah. What's going on with the Wolves? Did that get under
The Wolves
control?
situation, I don't think so. I think it's pretty bad still, and now we have Grizzlies too.
Yeah, I was
Did you
just
guys
reading
see
your
that?
Substack about.
Yeah.
Can we bring that up? I don't know. Go to her Substack, American Unwon, and bring that up, because we have to show the picture of the woman.
Oh, my sister was like, "That was mean of you." I'm like, "That's her official portrait."
Why is
What
that
do you-
mean?
Why is that mean?
Dude, yeah. Oh, you got to sign up. Oh, there you go.
No, you don't have to.
Right there.
Yeah.
Opinion. Yeah. Yeah, right there.
Go ahead and click.
We give him a hard time, dude. He does his best. There she is. All right. Look at her. What?
Okay.
What are you
well,
laughing?
My point with this is she probably okay.
Isn't that the old health secretary or whatever her name was?
I'm pretty sure that's Kamala's sister.
She just doesn't
Who
look
is
like
this
someone
lady?
who spends a lot of time backpacking. She looks like she's from Los Angeles because she is, and that's fine. But don't stick bears in places that you aren't going to be.
Yeah, scroll up. Let
So
me read.
this is
I'll
the-
read a little bit of it. Can
This
you
is
scroll
the
up to
lady
top?
that put bears in places?
This is her bill to start exploring the option of reintroducing grizzly
bears.
Yeah.
It's been over.
Yeah, good idea, lady.
Yeah,
It's been
exactly.
over a century since the last confirmed wild grizzly sighting in California. If the California Grizzly Restoration Act, introduced in late February by Laura Richardson, passes, wildlife officials would develop a plan for reintroducing the apex predator by June 2028, just in time to defend the dams.
Wait, that could
Whoa,
work out
dude.
for us,
Oh.
actually.
Pull on
We
that
should get a
string,
hold of
Keely.
this
I'm on
lady.
Yeah.
I know.
Turn off the camera. Turn off the camera. We got to talk about this.
You ain't tying me
the
to no
mics.
dam anymore, dude. Grizzlies don't- I was only willing to do it because there was no apex predators.
Now you're going to be out there with wolves and fucking grizzlies, dude. Good luck.
Well, I'm starting to hear some wrestling in the bushes. I'm getting nervous.
You always wanted to be on Naked and Afraid, didn't you?
Did you really?
Alone.
Is that the reality show you would do? Oh, Alone. Oh, I love that show.
I want to do some kind of survival show where I go and see how long I could live in the woods.
My delusional
Here we go.
I feel like I would do well,
Extreme.
and I would not. I wouldn't do well on that show at all. But in my mind, I would. That's like my delusion.
That's the appeal of watching it because you're
Yeah,
like, these
like,
fucking
I
guys
can't
don't
do
know what
that.
they're doing.
Yeah, idiot. And just, where's your stone house? You should be building a stone house like that one guy that built a stone house. And I think he could still be living there. He's doing great.
Yeah. If I was on Naked and Afraid, the first thing I would do is like make clothes.
I've never watched that.
That's
one.
your priority? You've never seen Naked and
No.
Afraid?
Why do they have to be naked?
That's what I mean. Because you get to stare at their butt cheeks for a while.
Nah, they blur. They blur. They blur the things.
What is the point of that then? Like, what is this show?
I don't know.
Just to
They
make
just
you
send
as-
Just
two
vulnerable.
naked
As
people
vulnerable as
Vulnerable.
into the
Okay,
woods, and you
all right.
haven't met. It's a guy and a girl, and they've never met each other, and they walk and
What a premise. Okay.
meet each other, and then they have to live in the woods for 21 days or something.
Yeah, but
We're a weird country. Some of our entertainment
so
is kind of weird.
are we the weirdest?
I think so.
We could
I
be.
like it. I like that we're so weird, but we are kind of like all the people that were kind of poor in all the other countries, and we all ended up here. So I feel like we're just kind of a different breed than the rest
Oh,
of
yeah.
the world.
Australia's prisoners, and we're poor folk.
Yeah, we're just like the scrappiest people. And then California's like the extreme because we went all the way west. So there's still some of that, don't you think? It's
Yeah.
like we're a little wild out here.
Totally.
Yeah,
I watched
slightly feral.
I watched the documentary about the OK Corral that was on Netflix a while ago, and I didn't like realize that while we were the Wild West with like our saloons and our gun shooting and all that stuff, they had like buildings and cars and stuff out in New York
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
at the same time.
Yeah,
I
JP
thought those
Morgan
were different
was-
time periods. I thought that everybody lived
The same
with guns and
They're in New York, like
horses
howdy,
and
partner.
stuff.
Yeah,
I didn't know that that was the same time period.
Well,
I barely graduated high school, but like, you know,
hey,
no,
dude.
I know what you mean. It's like like the OK Corral stuff was happening, but there was like some serious civilization in other parts of the
Yeah.
world. It was, exactly.
Yeah, the whole Wild Wild West thing happened after the Civil War,
Right.
right? So that
Right.
was like late 1800s, early 1900s.
Yep, exactly. And
Okay,
we're still
historian.
a little, yeah. Flexing a
Whatever,
little bit.
dude.
yeah,
Don't be mad.
somebody got good grades in history. Anyways, back to the Bears.
Yeah.
So, anyways, they're coming back thanks to a forehead Richardson in Southern California. There she
There
is.
she is.
All
Look at
right.
that, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
So
Why'd
see.
you post that picture, Keely?
That's her official portrait.
That's the best one they could
okay?
get, dude. What are you talking about?
Oh my gosh. I think she seems like a lovely person, but I don't
She
I don't
does?
think no.
She seems like
I-
she needs another set of eyebrows, dude.
She-
There's a gap there, but I'm gonna roast her, dude, just for being such an idiot thinking that she wants to put
she is
grizzly
trying to
bears.
get grizzlies to attack you.
Bro, like a grizzly bear will eat you so fast and everything about you. Like you will cease to be.
Absolutely.
Has she ever met a grizzly bear?
Do you think she has?
She
Look at
looks
her.
like the lady on the video that we showed recently of the nice lady who sits down next to the bear and gets attacked and mauled by her.
Can you bring?
She
can you
kind of
bring
looks
that
like
up?
that
What
lady.
video? I don't want to.
Oh
watch that.
yeah,
That
dude.
sounds
No,
Bring
we
it
have
up.
to show Keely.
Russian lady mauled by bear in an interview. This is.
I don't want to watch this.
Don't worry, it's not
I'm
that
already
bad.
Are you
scared of
already?
grizzly bears.
Really?
You're gonna sit there and you're gonna watch it. Oh yeah, here it comes. So here we go.
Why is he wearing a little?
You can kill the sound. I don't think we
Because
need the
he's
sound.
a jujitsu guy. That's how he handles the.
That's so embarrassing.
So this is here she comes.
Oh, that's her,
here's
Miss
Miss
Forehead.
Richardson. So we're gonna introduce
Oh,
these.
look at this nice
back
little
into
bear.
the woods.
Oh my God, it's a
And,
bear.
oh God! Help! Help! Oh God!
Gosh.
Yeah, dude.
Where's his jujitsu skills? He's just pulling on this leash and
No, he got that on Amazon, dude. He didn't know shit, dog.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Is
that's
she okay? Oh, no.
No, dude.
there's his grizzly. There's his jujitsu skills right there.
He's not okay, dude.
No, that's another dude. She got out of there.
Oh, she did.
Oh, she escaped. That guy
Yeah.
saved her life.
That was very
That's a guy.
chivalrous
He's got
of
a
him.
terrible rear naked choke going on there.
Well, But that's why you don't fuck with bears.
Someone needs to send Laura this video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Look
Yeah,
at
see?
that.
Look at, he's like, who else
Good to
wants
go.
some, baby? This is like an X video. He's got his shirt off in the street. Like, whoa, who else wants some, dude? I'll take on the whole room, dude. Put me in California, see what happens, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Was that from the 90s or something?
Yeah, that's
Probably.
Imagine how much crazy shit happened before iPhones. That just happened to be recorded because
I
it was
know.
in a TV studio.
Yeah. Remember when if you got your ass whipped in a fight, like everybody forgot about it within a week? Instead of, like, it
These
lived
poor
forever
kids.
on the internet, dude.
Dude, my
This is
girls
these
come home
poor
with
kids.
fights on their phones all the time.
Yeah, it's
All the
terrible.
time.
Really?
All the time.
What do you guys want? Phone-free zones in schools? Is it something you think is a good idea?
For sure.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
I
for
think you
sure.
should have to be 18 to be on social media.
I think
Yeah.
so too. If smoking is illegal, like,
Yeah,
why can't we?
because
make
I think
this
it's just
illegal?
giving
This is
kids-
terrible for kids.
Understandably.
Yeah.
I remember being like having all kinds of social anxiety in school, and
Yeah.
there was nothing like that. It was just
Right.
Yeah.
just from being in that place with those people. You know what I
Totally,
mean?
totally.
Let
100%.
alone like
Yeah, it's
being
a
bullied and
whole nother
tortured
world.
online.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
hope it's gone by the time my kid is anywhere near that
You hope it's
age.
gone?
No, just like that.
You hope
that
cell phones
we've
go
moved-
away?
Yeah, I do kind of a little bit low key, but like just that we've moved away as a society from letting kids have full access to phones. It just seems crazy.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but anyway,
You don't sit them down in front of the iPad.
I do, but you know,
that's not-
yeah, that's what he's doing right now. Actually, last time I saw him.
You're like, go to sleep or I'll put you to sleep. Here's an iPad.
Yeah. Here, look at this bear video.
No, oh, I don't even want him to see that.
Fear Factor's back.
Is it really?
Yeah, Johnny
Joe
Knoxville's
Rogan's?
hosting
Oh,
it.
that
again.
seems fun. I
Yeah.
used to love that show.
I listened to the podcast that Joe Rogan did with Johnny Knoxville to like announce it or whatever. It was kind of cool. They
That
were
is
talking about
cool.
different stories and stuff.
Oh, I should listen to that. I haven't listened to Joe Rogan in quite
Yeah,
a while.
there he is.
There he is.
Look at that old guy.
that.
Who?
Wow.
That's Johnny Knoxville, dude.
No, that's his grandpa, dude.
That's he's in the grandpa suit from the Jackass
That's
thing.
Uncle Knox. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So what kind of crazy shit they're doing these days?
Are they even going to let
You
them
know?
do crazy shit like they used to? It seems like
I don't think they'll be guzzling bull sperm anymore, but
That's the one that got him canceled.
yeah, well, good, probably.
Didn't Rogan say he quit after they did like some bullfight or something? The bull went after a lady. And he's like, "That's too much." I'm like, "That sounds like the average day at the Potter Valley Rodeo." That's not that bad.
Right.
That's not.
I
a
don't think
problem.
he quit. I think he got canceled because they
Oh.
made the contestants drink donkey cum.
Oh. Wow. So now we're back.
Was that too far? I crossed the line
Looks
there.
like we're gonna
Wow,
have to
that
block
was
all
it,
of that.
Joseph.
We found it.
That was it.
They've never crossed the line before. Just when I'm here, we started the show
Whoa,
with your
dude.
grandma feeling shocked, and now Joseph's shocked.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. That was it. That
Joe's
was the
typing up
one.
his resignation papers over there. Okay.
So we're looking for a new producer here at Like It or Not. We pay really well.
Hopefully one with a strong stomach. But I think he
Oh
was
my
like
God.
towards the end being like, yeah, this isn't going to
is a
end well.
little much.
This is start because you got to always top your word, you know?
Yeah.
Dude, are you aware of Oscar's place in Hopland? The donkey.
The Donkey King.
Yes.
I didn't listen to that episode yet. I saw you guys had him on, and then I saw a billboard in Ukiah.
yeah.
So what's going on with that?
Dude, it's a donkey sanctuary. He goes to auctions and like saves donkeys and takes them there and rehabilitates them and rehomes them.
Man, I bet that place is loud. I bet his neighbors are.
He
have
talked about
feelings.
it.
Did
Yeah,
he
he
really?
did.
Yeah, I think they tolerate it because he's doing such a good thing, you know?
Donkeys
Yeah.
are cute. I
But
didn't know they needed rescuing. to be honest with
There's
you.
this whole underground market for a certain, what is it?
Yeah, they boil their hide and it creates some kind of like thing that's very valuable for in China. Makes your thing, you know, and
like a
herb.
oh, okay.
Or like a supplement,
it's
you
like,
know?
it's
And
like tiger soup or what,
Yeah,
you know, or
yeah,
shark
yeah.
fin soup or tiger
Tiger
penis,
blood.
No,
tiger
that's so
penis,
sad.
what?
tiger penis.
Oh yeah,
dude.
yeah, penis. That's what it was. What are you talking about, dude?
Are you serious? Don't act like you don't know, dude. Tiger
Are you
penis
kidding me right now?
is like a supplement that they take in China that's supposed to help with male erectile dysfunction and like
No, that's the donkey hide stuff.
well, that's all. This is also, I'm saying, in a line with the donkey hide. So it's illegal to slaughter them in America. So they do auctions in Texas take them down to Mexico slaughterhouses, kill them, and then boil their hides and make this tonic or something that's very valuable in
No kidding.
China.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's
he
very
saw
sad.
this and was like, nope, that's not what I'm going to do with my time anymore. He was like an executive, like this huge like media executive and wearing Versace and all this stuff. And then he traded in all that life to come up here and save donkeys.
What a good guy.
I know,
Good for
super
him.
cool. They have a ranch in Potter Valley too.
Really?
Yeah, those are where the donkeys that aren't like, most of them are like very friendly and
okay.
like
They put
to
the
be
mean
around.
donkeys out
They
in
put the
Potter
mean ones
Valley.
out there. Yeah.
Where did you say it was? Can you look up
That's-
Oscar's place, Potter Valley?
sense.
Yeah, so they have he said some guy donated the land to him.
Really?
and-
Potter.
Yeah, in
No
Potter.
kidding.
And so he has a bunch of donkeys out there too.
How many donkeys does he have? Did he tell you?
He's got 400.
Well, I think
400
over the last 5 years there's been 400 come and go. I think he has like 250 or something like currently, you know.
Who's
Yeah.
Oscar? Was that one of his first?
Oscar was the
donkeys?
cat of the guy that donated him the land.
Okay.
I'm not sure why he named it Oscar's place, but Oscar is a dead cat.
Okay. All right.
And
I
then
think
the-
I know where that is.
Yeah, where is it? It doesn't say the address,
It
huh?
looks like maybe back before you go up over the hill to Pillsbury. Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, I think it is.
does.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's right at the base
Eel
before.
River Road, I
yeah,
think.
that's right. So it's out there.
Right in your backyard.
Yeah, basically.
You probably
And-
could hear him.
On a nice still night. Yeah. Wow,
On a
that's
still
really
night.
cool. Good for him.
And
Yeah.
then he has a show on NBC or ABC or something like that called The Donkey King. That's like a documentary about him.
That's more positive than the Tiger King.
Correct.
Yes.
I like
Yeah.
it.
And his name is actually Ron King.
Okay.
So-
that makes sense.
ABC Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
Oh, look at him with his little donkey.
It's pretty cool, dude. Like this dude has a lot of love for donkeys.
I love that. Hey,
Yeah.
there's a butt for every seat, right? That's great.
A butt for every seat.
I think you mean an ass. He didn't like the ass jokes, though. I was
Did
I was sprinkling
really
them.
like Drew.
didn't like you, Drew? I can't imagine him not liking you.
I know. I know.
I'm here with you guys. I'm not
felt-
at the White House right now. He doesn't know what he's
Yeah.
missing out
Yeah.
on.
You felt that too, though, huh?
Yeah. It was, it was tangible, dude.
Wouldn't he be immune to ass jokes by now? You'd think he would have.
Yeah, that's why he
developed a
wasn't
thick
amused.
skin. He was over it.
It was, yeah.
I also thought his name was Don King, and I said that.
That could have been it. I could have set you off
He was
on
like,
the wrong foot a
"How about
little
you
bit.
shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
Ron King, Don King, Donkey King.
He didn't like you at all, dude.
It'd be better if it was Don King. That would be perfect. Don
Yeah.
King. Yeah.
But then I remember that's that crazy boxing promoter from the Mike Tyson days, right?
Exactly.
Ah,
Yeah.
shit. Sorry about that, Ron.
Is
Love
the
you,
show
dude.
out now? Can we watch it?
Yeah.
It's released Saturday. Okay.
Episodes come out every
it out.
Saturday.
It's on YouTube, and then they're working on a second season.
Very cool. So
Yeah.
Potter
Yeah, it's
Valley
really
is
cool.
about to be famous. Love that.
Yep. Yep. It's on ABC. Maybe that's an angle.
There you go.
Maybe we can say like
Save
these
the
donkeys,
water, save the donkeys.
Yeah, these donkeys' water's about to dry up.
Yeah, they've been through enough.
That's another
That's
t-shirt.
some more attention.
Yeah.
Salmon, donkeys.
Yeah.
Donkeys are the forgotten species.
They are, dude.
Everybody cares about horses and cattle, but what about the donkeys?
Dude,
about
they're
the
so cool.
They are.
I went out there to the ranch and did a little tour with them.
He
and-
liked you, just not Drew. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because you're
Everybody
brothers.
likes
You're brothers in sobriety.
Whoa.
You have that in common.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm just an asshole.
That's the consensus across the board, I think, dude. I don't know that this is significant just to Dawn.
Really?
I'm just kidding.
Now I feel
No,
like
that's not true.
now I feel like
Drew.
Eeyore.
No, that's
No.
definitely not true. Not
donkey.
true at all. Don't listen to him.
I liked him. I like you, Ron. I thought it was great, and I think it's super cool. And it's cool because it's in our backyard.
Yes,
like,
that's so
putting us on
cool.
the map. And
I love
Yeah,
what he's
they're super
doing.
sweet.
That's
They come
great.
up to you and put their big old head in your chest, and they just want to hug and stuff. Like it's super cool.
At least the ones, not the ones in Butter Valley.
no, those ones are kicking
the ones that
ass.
don't like people, he puts out there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I haven't been to that one.
So
Oh, that's really cool. Who else do you guys have coming up? Or when's this episode coming out?
Not sure yet. We'll have to see.
All right.
We have
know.
somebody on Monday
We have somebody on Monday
coming.
Yeah,
Our peptide guy
peptides is coming back
back to talk
on.
about peptides. Are you into this
okay.
whole peptide thing?
I keep hearing about peptides, and I don't know anything about it at
Yeah.
all. Are we all on peptides now? Is that
Tune
what
in
we're
next
doing?
week.
All right, I'll be there. I'll be listening.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's getting on board with them.
Okay.
So let's talk about one more thing, and then we can, set you free. But asshole.
See? See what I'm saying?
Not at all. Not at all. I don't agree.
But I just think what I love most about what you're doing is the attention to cattle ranchers, and I think that is such like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's a microcosm of the macro situation that I think we're facing here, where it's just cattle ranchers everywhere they turn. They're literally out in the middle of nowhere, minding their own business, raising beef, and like you said, 150 cattle on 1,200 acres or something crazy like that, and they're being shut down. And you use the term, or maybe the gentleman out in Nevada who's getting his water potentially sent down to Las Vegas is like death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's what's happening to like the American people in general, but specifically ones who aren't on board with this kind of like new agenda that seems to be being pushed, which is like they just slowly thinking in terms of decades, how can we start to like implement this agenda? And you look at the cattle ranchers and it's like, well, one, it's such an iconic like Americana from the beginning of the country, like cowboys ranching and the independent American, person, right? I mean, self-sustainable, not needing handouts, like taking care of themselves. All they need is people to stay out of their way for their lifestyle to persist. And, you just see that like start to that life dying.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's dying really, really quickly. And one, is it the independence? Two, is it like, are they trying to really just control the food supply and the water supply? Because if we don't have food, then we're pretty easy to control. What's your opinion on like why it's happening and what's happening and what the future of it is going to be? Like even with the new administration, we're all praying Donald Trump would run in here and save us all. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be the case, right? So what's your kind of opinion on where all of that is at? And you're writing on it a lot. I find it interesting.
Yeah, that's a great question. I like that you said that. I think it is like a microcosm of the American spirit, and it's why we all resonate with the cowboy deal, even if you're on the East Coast or you're not from a Western state. There's something about it that I think, I can't remember when I went to Montana last year with some of my husband's from New Jersey, and his family came out here. They wanted to see the West, and so we went to Montana. And she made this point, his aunt made this point to me that, we basically were imitating Europe when we were on the East Coast, the first 13 colonies or whatever. But as we went west, that was the first thing that we built as Americans. That was our kind of idea of ourselves, and our first creation was the West. And so I think that's why the West resonates. And I think there's something about that spirit that the powers that be don't like. And I think it's interesting that they are attracted to regulations and overreach that targets people who live this lifestyle, because there's something tied to the American spirit about living in this way. And I think they don't like that. And I think, so that's one aspect. I think kids need myths and heroes. They need something to look up to. And for a long time, that was the American cowboy. We had Westerns. Quentin Tarantino said you can tell a lot about an era in American history by the Westerns that it makes. And I always thought that was really interesting, and just kind of how we see ourselves, because these are the stories we tell about ourselves. It's often cowboy stories. And so I think attacking that spirit and attacking those heroes is something that gets deeper than just, a culture or some kind of, lifestyle that maybe we've outgrown. I think it gets to the American spirit itself. So there's something there. But also just on a super pragmatic level, cattle raising is, in the beef industry, is the most decentralized aspect of agriculture. It's not vertically integrated like the pork industry and like these other industries. Cattle producers are very independent. The average herd, I think, is 50 head. So there's just a lot of freedom in all of these thousands of cattle ranchers who run their cattle and sell them to a increasingly consolidated. There's only 4 big packers that process most of the beef that we eat. So that's a problem. And that's one of the things that the Trump administration has been asked by cattle producers to address, is that massive consolidation at that part of the market. But before that, cattle are raised very independently, largely on grass. You don't have this like factory processed process to get beef to your grocery store the way that you do with other types of meat and other agricultural products. So I think attacking that is attractive to corporations who may prefer to keep all that money. We really like beef in the United States. They may prefer that we buy, lab grown beef, this like fake stuff.
That's coming down the pipe.
Totally. Yeah. But although people don't like it, I mean, I think Beyond Beef's or Beyond Meat's stock is like plunging because people just don't like it. And I don't think it's working. It's really hard to get people to go against their own biology and to not, salivate for steak. Like that's a big tall order to ask people to completely reimagine the way that they eat. And I think that's why it's been this massive psyop of like cattle grazing is bad for the planet. You can just drive to Laytonville or Potter Valley, and obviously that is not the case. You see cattle grazing on green pastures, that is the planet. So I think that it would take a psyop to get us to believe that, and I think there's multiple factors at play, whether it's, controlling food. You do control people, you also profit. You can have these corporations pushing out slime that they grew in a petri dish instead of independently raised beef, and that's a lot more profitable for that company than buying from ranchers who, land is power too, and cattle graze on a lot of land in this country, and I think that if you lock them off that land, you do shrink our rights, and that's why there is this death by 1,000 cuts approach.
Yeah, and it's just so interesting because, I mean, if you drive by if cattle aren't raised in the way you're saying, well, what's the other way? And I was speaking to someone who's like talking about Kauschwitz, which is like basically where all those cows are on I-5 down there on your way to LA.
Yeah, what's that place called? Harris Ranch, yeah.
Harris Ranch, you can just smell it from like, miles away, dude. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. But it's like, okay, so it's the most humane way for an animal to live its life, like in a pasture.
Yeah.
And so you have animal rights people at the same time, like, it all just seems so hypocritical to me.
Yeah.
And I just appreciate the fact that you're at least making an effort to point that out, because I don't know when it changed where the government thinks that they own everything, all the land and are entitled to the resources, when they're nothing more than an extension of us, but have turned into this like entity where they just think they can control everything.
Yeah.
Do you think that where do you see the situation going? Do you think it's improving? Do you think there's a chance, or do you think it's just going to get worse and worse?
I do think it's improving. I think there's been some positive change. And that place, Harris Ranch, is probably, I think it's a feedlot that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And usually cattle do spend most of their life on grass in the U.S. They might just have a few months at the end of their life where they're fattened on grain. Most people prefer grain-finished beef. It's got the marbling and stuff like that. So they don't mind it too much because they're getting really good food and they're around other cows. So it's not as bad, and it's not their whole life. That's kind of like the end of their life. But if you want grass-finished beef, there's a lot of places around here that do sell that. I think John Ford and Willits, you can buy direct from ranchers, which I really encourage people to do. I come home a lot. I'm here a lot. But, I just bought a cow and had it processed, and I'm going to take it back with me. So you can always do that if you want grass finished. It's spent its whole life on grass. There's a lot of we're lucky here that you can go to a ranch and buy a half cow or whole cow. But anyway, I do think it's getting better because I think there's a change in the trends. When I was in college, it was all about veganism and, not eating meat, and meat was cruel. I think that's changing. Even in LA and Orange County, there's like bone broth and
Can you bring up the new food pyramid, please?
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I think red meat is at the top of the pyramid now.
Right.
Well, yeah. Look at RFK Jr.
Exactly.
It'd be one of the ones that's the black pyramid.
Yeah. So they basically inverted it.
Yeah, they basically inverted it.
Look at what they used to tell you to eat. 5 minutes ago. All that bread is the base of your diet.
Right. Whole grain.
Just empty carbs.
Yeah.
And then just a little meat at the top for fun.
Yep. And now they have dairy and red meat.
Yep, exactly.
So that's a good sign.
Absolutely. But demand for beef is up, I think, 9% over the last decade. People want it. It's hard to beat biology. I mean, I'm personally, because my parents are veterinarians, and I grew up working on ranches with my dad, and I've always liked animals. And I didn't like eating meat when I was a kid because I kind of thought, well, it makes me sad to eat meat. I like animals, and I've raised a lot of bummer calves and rescued animals and all this, and it kind of makes me sad. So I didn't eat meat. I was kind of this old guy in my church was like, I think you're a closet vegetarian. I am a little bit. I don't eat a lot of meat.
Don't say that to me.
Yeah. But then as I got older and I started lifting weights and stuff in college, and I suddenly just was like craving red meat. I was just telling my sisters this the other day. And they're like, you should talk about that more, because it's kind of why I got interested in the beef, industry, and kind of talking about it and advocating for it. I was just like craving red meat, and I realized like you really can't, your body needs that to function. You really can't live off of empty carbs and vegetables. You can't. And I just noticed this profound like change. I just was really craving red meat, and I started eating more of it. And then I realized you just can't cheat the human body. This is how we're made to eat. And so, I eventually kind of started looking at, okay, well, what's the most ethical way to eat meat then? And I think it's hunting and beef. Those are basically the two most ethical forms of meat, especially beef raised in the U.S., because we have a lot of rangeland that you can't grow crops on, especially here in the West. And so when you buy beef, it's been pasture raised almost its whole life, unless it spends a little time at a place like Harris Ranch. It's had a good life. It's been taken care of. I've known ranchers my whole life. They care a lot about their cattle. Of course they do. They spend more time with them than the city person that just thinks of beef as this thing wrapped in plastic in the grocery store. Of course, you're a human being. You care about your animals. That's human nature. So that was kind of pivotal for me in seeing, not only does the body kind of need meat, and we're kind of moving away from that veganism. Like I said, in LA, it's like all about bone broth and raw dairy and all this stuff right now, where there used to be, it was veganism was the trend. But it's also a very ethical way to eat meat if you're going to do it. Mm-hmm. So I think people realizing that is encouraging, because it's hard to psyop people when that's what they want and that's what the market's demanding.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we sure appreciate you making time to come and see us.
Of course.
You're in high demand. But what else you got?
Yeah, you're supposed to be at the White House right now, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Well, and there you go. They invited people who are in the beef and cattle industry for some announcement that I'll have to check my phone. Probably something about ethanol or something like that. But I do think they're trying to. I've heard a lot from this administration, and I think they've addressed some of those stories you were talking about, Drew, like the cases I've covered all over the West. They've reached out to me on those stories where they've gotten involved with those families and tried to help them. So that's very encouraging.
Where do you find your stories?
People usually send me tips. I get a lot of people sending me tips, and I have to look into it and make sure, and not everybody's a perfect victim, but that's okay. You still deserve your rights, whether you are, a likable, sweet, person that gets along with everybody or not. You still deserve your rights. So, but just getting to the bottom of every story and finding out what's really going on. I do love it. Yeah. That's why, I kind of do it for free. Yeah. I really love it. I'm really passionate about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think it's good to show the ranchers too. I was watching the video of, what's the guy's name in near Las Vegas?
Hank Vogler.
Yeah. It's like, you live your whole life like a rat, like a wood rat in a stovepipe. He's like, I had all these country ass sayings, and I was just like, fuck yeah, dude.
Hank is awesome. He's so funny. Yeah, he just got charged with arson this week. That's why I was writing about him. Out of the blue, and he's had all these issues with the government. He won't talk to me because he's scared to lose his Fifth Amendment right. But yeah, he's had all these issues with the government, and all of a sudden he gets charged with arson for these 2 fires that happened years ago. So I don't know what's going on there, but
and yet they want the water on his land to build a 300-mile pipeline straight to Las Vegas.
Interesting.
And he's like, I think, I think he had a sheep though. He had sheep, and he's like, I think food is more important than flushing the toilet in Vegas. And it's kind of like,
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
We need more of those people around.
Exactly. But that's it though. They going after you, for bullshit, and the government has a way of being able to just torture you if they want to into submission, and it's that's the power that they have that I really think we need to figure out how to take back, because it's not right. Like, just slow bleed you out. And then they know they can, because they have infinite pockets filled by us.
Exactly.
And it drives me
and
crazy.
how dare you not want to give them more money? You are not a compassionate, kind person.
Yeah.
If you don't want to give them more money.
Yeah.
You're an asshole.
Gavin Newsom needs an elevator in that 4-story mansion.
You're an asshole, Drew.
Well, I love you all, regardless of how you feel about me. I have compassion for most people.
Yes. And we love you, Keely. Thank you for doing what you're doing. It's really cool that you report on the West and all of our issues and highlight those across the globe. And you're just an awesome person. Glad that you're our neighbor, and it's good to see you in person.
Thank you, guys. I love you guys, too. You do such a great job. This county is lucky to have you. So thanks for your show, and thanks for having me on. I'm really honored to be here. Way rather be here than the White House.
That's right. Wow. You heard it here, folks.
Because I'm not a mega influencer.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go.
Neither are we.
Like it or not.
Yeah.
We have a number, you guys, to call and leave a text message if you want to. It's 707-234-8926. Give us a call or send us a text with your comments, concerns, questions, compliments, or guest suggestions, anything like that. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, and also be a bro, share the show. Check us out on YouTube. You can, if you subscribe, like, that all helps. We appreciate it very much. God bless you all, and have a wonderful afternoon, day, evening, or morning.